All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 5:30 on Saturday. We're going to be starting with the opening statement that I wrote up here. And then after the statement, I'm going to pass it on to Drew because he's going to be basically explaining what's going on with the network. So, dress it how you like. The chain will move on as long as there are active computers or people who find value in it. It's permanent. Every past iteration of the chain is permanent too, and it takes people like the PAC team to ensure that users like you are on the chain that holds the most value. The coin has been a legitimate clone of Dash, which in turn is an iteration fork from Bitcoin. These days are over, as the PAC team is surely close to putting the old clone coin, old proposals, and old bad habits in the ground laid to rest. We will just have obvious ownership and control over the humanistic mainstream applications intended on driving more activity to the payment network, and there will be no anything ownership outside of PAC Global Trusted Corporate umbrella. I've created my own guide in the official Discord, and Digita has created an online guide for people to get their seed, aka their private mobile wallet key, and import it into a working Electrum wallet to recover coins. With what control the PAC team has, we have done everything in our power to ensure that the very first PAC coin you bought will still work on our network today, which holds true. With market prices stretched and a new beginning, we are basically going to hope for community support to use the DAO to back pay and help fund the initiatives for the people who are still interested in the coin's success and are in it for the long haul. You could give me $1 million to use the coin value to go up on the market, which I would say, great, I would love $1 million. I would just buy all the PAC on the market. Obviously, we don't have $1 million budgets, but there's something more valuable than $1 million marketing budget. And that's the idea and trust that the product is going to work from start to finish until the end of time, whether we dress it up nice with a fancy suit and tie LLC or not, that the coins are going to get there and stay there securely designed forever. I will pass the good news to Drew because he's going to start giving us the juicy information we've been waiting for.
Thanks, Steve. So I'm really excited to have this meeting here. That way we can talk about a little bit of the up and coming changes that PAC Global is going to be going under. Nothing that's going to be happening is going to be for the negative. It's only positive here, and a lot of time and effort has gone into this to make sure that the correct chain is followed. There's no bugs that are going to mess up the product and what it's for, not only now, but in the future as we bring utility to our chain to bring a different side of value for PAC Global besides just P2P transactions. So it's interesting to know if you haven't been following it, but I know a lot of individuals here like following our GitHub. They just want to keep up to date on all the latest pushes. Our wallets currently, we just released our new PAC Global wallet, rebranded. It's not yellow like the old logo. It's the same color blue as the new PAC Global logo, and it's simply designed and to be simple, safe, clean. It's still the same QT wallet, same security on that side of it. But there's a couple things that we've needed to fix before we can say, okay, this is what everyone needs to be using from here through after the update hits, and that has to do with our fees. Now, previously, everyone here should be aware that the fee to send a transaction was manually moved up to 50 PAC per KB because of past transaction-like attacks that were affecting our chain, which were filling up our memory pool and not making our chain usable. If those attacks continued back when they started and continued out through, let's just use the example of October to December, our chain would be 100% not usable. So the actions taken to stop the attack were to change the minimum fee to 50 PAC per KB. And even though that's not something that's ideal, and we all knew at the time that that was going to be needed to change eventually, if the PAC price per PAC coin was going to mean anything, we couldn't have a 50 PAC fee just to send a transaction. It makes us, again, unusable when you start comparing to competition. So the actions taken then were very fast and in the good intention to secure our chain, but it wasn't the solution for long term. So certain individuals knew that, and now that the certain individuals here are able to make the changes to move us forward, we're doing that. Our fees are going to go back to the normal, regular, reasonable amounts that they were, to make PAC more competitive when you start comparing to other competition as far as cost to send transaction or cost to use our chain for utility purposes. And I keep talking about utility purposes. We recently released our white paper that had a lot of good information in it of not only using PAC as a P2P source for transactions or for a merchant POI to receive funds, but there's a lot of different problems in our world today that can be solved using our blockchain network. Blockchain is an extremely new technology, even though you can say it's been around a decade now because of Bitcoin. It hasn't really been explored fully in that last decade as far as being used as utility other than used to store value or send money from point A to point B. And so we at PAC Global, we want to make sure that we pursue both sides of the chain. I say both sides of the chain, but it's still one singular chain. What I mean by that is there's two different sides that blockchain can be used, either for storing value and sending transactions or for utility and bringing a outside value to PAC Global, not just tied to fiat funds or Bitcoin or whatever trading pair. And a couple of things are listed in our white paper as initial goals that we want to make sure that we try and interrupt the current industry on. That way we can introduce blockchain as solutions to real world problems in these specific areas. And a couple of them, now one that I'm very highly excited to get going is inventory supply chain auditing. And basically, simply what that means is we all know that the blockchain is a open ledger, digital ledger, incorruptible. As Steve mentioned in his introduction, it is a pure copy of everything that happens on the chain in its past. So it's a foolproof audit system, and what we plan to do is introduce PAC Global into the inventory control, where you can start tracking items that you may have maybe around the house, or as we want to, of course, introduce companies and get them to use our chain for these purposes. People are able to keep track of how much product they have, how much they've sold, things like that. And so I don't want to go crazy into it, but the white paper is a good read on this. Talks about our plans of creating our own specific wallet to help make it simple and easy for people to use. Because I personally feel that's one of the things in this blockchain industry that is halting it from taking off, is a lot of things aren't designed for user friendliness. A lot of things are still difficult. When you start talking about blockchain and cryptocurrency in the common day public, the majority of people don't know what you're talking about and can't figure out what you're even explaining because it is a brand new technology. So what we feel we should do is introduce these features and these problem-solving innovations, but only do so in a way that is extremely easy for people to use, whether it's as easy as current solutions or even better, so that people have no problem picking up and using blockchain solutions for real-world problems. And our list goes on. There's a couple of things that we could introduce into our chain, such as advertising, sending advertisements over our network in a similar way that proposals are submitted over our network for funding on the DAO. Advertisements can be sent in a similar way with a little bit of innovation, which if you look at that from the outside looking in, PAC Global is it's a free download. To download a wallet, it's free. It's free to be a part of the network. It's your choice to do so. And with advertising, if someone were to send a advertisement over the entire PAC Global network, how we want to introduce this is that every person that has a PAC Global wallet downloaded will have access to viewing these advertisements, and the owner of the advertisement can do so in a way with their own ad to maybe incentivize those who view it, or whatever they decide. But it's something that if you look at the scheme of how advertising is today and how it's a very expensive world, we're familiar with this as, our marketing plans are based off of, cost versus reward. And marketing and advertising is very expensive in this current world that we live in. So if you look at that solution that it provides is, as we mentioned before, blockchain is a pure copy of everything that gets put onto it. So if advertisements are put onto our blockchain, they essentially live forever. So that is a more cost-friendly version of advertising. And you're able to not only do this quickly and easily, but it's a global thing. PAC Global is global, so it's no longer paying for specific ads in specific areas. They're able to get out a global advertisement for whatever they decide. So that's definitely something with some innovation we plan to make easy for people to use for either their own benefit or for a company's benefit. And the list goes on. Tipping platform for content creators. We've kind of already mentioned this a little bit of how even in the old PAC resume, how content creation was very important for PAC. It's a way that any community can start up and any community can share ideas and content with one another. And so we want to make sure that we get that out and do something with that so that it's available for our chain to help provide this content, and then also along with that is being able to tip the content creators. That way they have funds for doing what they do. People can show their appreciation, and as they grow, PAC Global would grow along with it. So you can definitely see a lot of the examples today of people starting from nothing and growing their community over their whatever platform they decide to use for content creation. So that's definitely something PAC Global wants to get involved with. PacFundMe, a lot of people are familiar with GoFundMe. It's a website where people request donations for different specific needs, whether it's financial crisis or things that need to be taken care of that one person might not have funds for. We want to create a similar website-based system where people can do so and be requesting PAC. Since we are charity focused, it does fit with our model. Stock trading activities is very basically going to be a UI based platform, most likely built within a wallet, where it shows the live charts, live prices of top digital assets such as Bitcoin. PAC also obviously would be included in that. But this way people can go up to date, and as we grow, we can innovate with this platform and maybe make it to a platform where people can actually share and publish their ideas on trading ideas, whether it's PAC, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's other top digital assets added, such as Litecoin or Ripple or Ethereum, things like that. And that alone just attracts its own crowd of having a trading, monitoring, and trading idea platform within your own wallet would be very unique to the space. So that's something that we want to pursue as well. And then obviously merchant point of sale. Merchant point of sale is extremely important because as we grow and as PAC gets more recognition as a means of P2P transactions or merchant transactions and saving money, we definitely want to get merchants on board. And so we will eventually start putting out teams to help show how PAC is an advantage over just regular current options. So we have a lot of things in this white paper that we're planning on doing, and none of this can happen without our code update that we're currently going through. We've pushed out some wallets already when we were ready. There was a couple of things that were wrong with them that we discussed before, such as the fee, and those are being fixed currently. However, the wallets that if you have already downloaded one, they would work flawlessly after the update. So all we're trying to do currently is just produce a wallet that works now with our current fee structure, and then as block 330,000 hits, it switches over to the lower, more reasonable fee structure. So that's the only thing that we're working with right now. We've been intently working with every exchanges to make sure that they update, contacting all our partners to let them know that if they're mining, that mining is no longer supported, and other contacts to make sure they keep up to date with new reward systems. In our white paper, you can see the new reward structure as far as masternodes receiving 45% of the block. That was original. That was only changed because of the transaction attacks and I'm sorry, not transaction attacks, because of mining incidents in the past. So that was the only reason for it to change. So it should go back to its original purpose as it was intended, which was 45% of each block. So that goes back to what that was originally supposed to be. You can see how POS rewards is very low. The own purpose of POS is simply just for block movement. So it becomes a voluntary thing at this point as far as people staking very small amount, 10,000 PAC or more, but staking their coins in their wallet to help move the blocks. We obviously will have dedicated POS systems on our own end to safely keep the chain moving, but it's an open source program, open source download, so anyone, anywhere can help decentralize the block movement by downloading their own wallet and staking 10,000 PAC. So we always want to keep that option and the availability of PAC being completely decentralized in every nature, whether it's coin distribution or coin block movement. And that's important to us as well. But as you can see, the rewards is only 1 PAC per block. So it's not very advantageous at this current moment. But as our price grows, it will bring a small reward still, but small versus cost is pretty good. So that way it's not a system where people are receiving too much for doing little. And we don't want that, as we've seen what that happens in the past of inflation and stuff like that. Our super blocks are obviously going to grow. And the reason for this is the rewards that are being taken away from mining are going to be pushed over to super block available, same as the difference of what masternode rewards were now versus what they will be later in 330,000 as the block when that block hits. And you can see how the super block is a lot bigger. So that opens up a lot of different possibilities. It opens up more budget for operational needs. It opens up more budget for proposals being broadcast to the network. It opens up a lot of different doors that have currently been shut because our price has been non-favorable, as most alts in the space have been. There's a lot of alts that are bleeding or have been bleeding and are considered at their all-time low in Bitcoin pairing. That's just the market we're in right now. So we're doing all we can to make things available, but still the nature of PAC is super block votes are controlled by masternode owners. So the people who are dedicating a server completely to the full history of PAC and helping bring certain aspects of our chain alive, such as instant send and private PAC, they have the full authority of what happens on the super block, and they have the full authority whether or not coins are produced to fund whether a proposal or operational expenses. So obviously, the PAC Global LLC is very much probably the number one group of people that have good intentions and have nothing but best interest in PAC for PAC value to grow. So we will be using PAC Global as a means of funds from the DAO to help secure PAC Global's future and building up upon this chain, bringing more utility. And also, we will be using it to help influence other people as far as their proposals and help them come up with or perfect their ideas that they come up with to help involve PAC with their, whether it's their business or their utility that they're bringing to PAC Global to help grow. So we have a lot going on. Making sure that this is a very fluid update, that everything goes as planned. Obviously, we gave ourselves a little bit of a big window of releasing wallets to when the fork actually hits, and that's just to give an ample amount of time for either bugs to be found to then result in issues being solved, and then also to give our user base ample time to update as well, as there are some very specific
we had a few
instructions
questions
to do
posted.
So, yeah, I mean, that's basically what I had here. I was told that there was a channel for any questions. Was any questions posted? Okay, let's see. I have one question. On the website, I see chapter become listed on 10 high legitimate volume exchanges and progress 30% complete. What means 30% complete now? Okay, so basically, I mean, this simple answer to that is we want to be listed on a lot more professional exchanges than what we are now. The exchanges that we use now are awesome. I have no quarrels with them. However, there are some other exchanges that in the past have proven their ability to be considered a reliable exchange. I won't use names, but people who follow PAC Global should know. Our issues with certain exchanges in the past. But one of the main things we want to do is get listed on a more professional platform that takes their relationships with their coins that they list and their developers behind them more seriously. So we're on a couple now that I would consider that we PAC Global personally paid to get us on there, that I believe are more safe and secure and take us a little bit more seriously. P2P is one of them, and as we grow and our budget becomes bigger, we'll be able to complete this goal. Next question I see is why Oz Sultan not included in the team on PACglobal.io. I think the main reason for that is that we're still just trying to figure out what title to give Oz. He's definitely part of our board. He's been in our calls a few times to keep up to date on what's going on with this update, and then also to come up with more ideas for how he can impact PAC Global and help everything forward. He has a lot of connections in various industries, and he's a very busy person. So if he's not on Discord or something like that, it's not something anyone should take personally or hold against PAC Global, as I've seen many people note before that we've kind of taken a step back in our appearance in Discord, which we have, mainly because Discord is not our only means of communication. It's one of our platforms that we use to, talk to other individuals, to help others learn about PAC, to help people with issues. But at the end of the day, we're the board of directors of PAC Global, and we have a lot of issues that we, need to discuss all the time to make sure everything's going correct, especially during the middle of a rebrand and basically a relaunch of our code. So we can't be spending all our time in Discord. But that being said, we are pretty well reachable using Discord. Just some of us aren't very comfortable with using Discord as a communication platform with the common day public. And I think you can see that with some of our directors, that even though they are here and they are very active, it's not something that they put into their resume as far as, using Discord as
Can I add something, Drew, with this Discord thing that I wanted to mention in the intro? So, is that
sure.
Nobody on the team, no director is going to come to you and start asking you about your problems. So I saw that there was somebody posing as me in the Discord, sending DMs and stuff. I will never try to find your problems. We're waiting for you to bring them to us. So we're not going to send you any DMs trying to get you to do anything. Yep. So just to point that out, just know what a scam is. I mean, if you know that somebody's trying to send you a big, long message and that's the first time they've ever talked to you, it's fake. I mean, so just keep that in mind. I'm not trying to DM anybody to ask them anything. As far as the updates go, we're just waiting on you. And I just wanted to point that out for, just to kind of get the people more secure on how they're sending their stuff or things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of scammers out there. They do impersonate. I don't know if anyone here saw the attempt to basically screw over our major update we're doing, but even a fake PAC Global GitHub account was created, pushing out fake updates and things that you should not be downloading. So there are bad people in this world that would do anything that they can to earn some money or get information off your computer. So just don't fall for that stuff. It's very easy to figure out who's good and who's not. Another thing I can briefly talk about is our Vienna conference is approaching. That's at the beginning or more towards the middle of October, October 11th and 12th in Vienna, Austria. We are attending. I am attending. There's going to be a lot of individuals there for us to network with and build partnerships with current people that we've met, help introduce our new update to them, show them why we're doing it, and get more support behind PAC Global, even more so than what we have already grown in our short amount of time. So that event's going to be huge for us. We're going to be meeting in the Habsburg's Palace. If you don't know what that is or who that is, I just encourage you to Google it. You'll find a lot of information on the Habsburg's family and how it's a very big event to be being held there. So I encourage you to look at that. But we will be there to represent us and to network and to get to help grow PAC.
There's one more question. You already answered it. What marketing plan do you have after hard fork? I think it's just in the white paper, but if you wanted to add on to that one, I don't know if you already answered that.
Yeah, I mean, our current plans, obviously, we've been discussing which platforms we want to push out PR releases on and, get the word out on. But it's not only that, marketing has many different channels that we have to go after. It's, with blockchain, it's a new industry altogether. And like I mentioned before, if you go out and start talking about PAC or start talking about blockchain, majority of people won't know what you're talking about because blockchain in itself is entirely new. So you have to break it down into different groups of people and how you market to them. For me, one of the sides that I'll be behind and helping, PAC grow in is just the adoption rate of bringing it to companies and not only showcasing it, but having them test it, having them use our utility that we bring to our chain. Our P2P transaction, that's something that, our charity does a very good job of marketing, showing how it's used, getting people to accept PAC and use it for needs and what they have to use it for in Venezuela and areas like that, where in Africa, where our charities are booming and having a lot of good feedback. And then obviously Brad has his ways of getting information out to the public and bringing new eyes to our project, whether from blockchain industry known people or people interested in investing in a cryptocurrency or using utility from blockchain. So we have different channels that we have to consider and come up with a strategy for each one. There's a couple individuals in our board of directors that has very good ideas on this. Robin's one of them, where we have different channels that we have to pursue when it comes to marketing. So there's definitely planning going behind it. The marketing budget that's currently on DAO, when this next update hits after block 330K, all proposals basically get wiped out. Even the operational one, all of them get wiped out. So every proposal needs to be made new. And the marketing proposal is just going to be brought into the overall operational budget, combined together. That way, we know the funds that we're requesting. And just like before, how I break down what we plan to use the funds for and what the funds do get used for, such as, helping the development cost. There's going to be marketing costs. There's going to be server cost. There's a lot of things that go into keeping PAC Global, going down the track at a fast pace, and a lot of it is mundane stuff. But there is a budget that we do request, and marketing is one of the things under our operations. So it's something to make sure that we are transparent about and make sure that funds are held accountable. Not only funds, but also the ideas and the things that we pursue to do are actually followed through on. instead of empty promises and empty words. So we need to make sure that that gets followed through to a T, because that reflects not only everyone here, but it also reflects our users, and our network overall will either will probably start losing value and respect if word isn't kept and promises aren't kept. So it's something very important that we do. And as far as marketing goes, we have ideas to enhance our plans based off of professionals from that field in our board, and also the available budget that we're planning on having.
How about, do you have any advice for everybody that's going to be doing the fork coming up soon?
Yeah, I mean, my advice on that, plain and simple, is just to keep up with the direction. We're only here to help. There's been a couple bumps already, so we've obviously pushed out fixes, and we have a fix currently right now that we're working on that we'll also be pushing out and doing, announcements telling people, hey, there's a new update to it. It's to be expected. It's a new industry. It's a huge update. People who are aware of development skill and things like that, for PAC to switch from POW to POS in around 90 days is extremely impressive. So it's to be taken with patience, and make sure that you're recognizing that we're here to help, but just follow the directions of what's said to do. The GitHub link has already been posted. It's updated right away, so there's not multiple releases on there, but the latest release is the only release there is always going to be the latest release. We did that for organizational purposes. That way, it doesn't get confusing if there's multiple things up there. So when we have this next release that comes out as 100% donezo, and we're confident that the past issues that were raised when we first released the wallet are solved, we'll push out more communications and get people to update on this new update.
Cool. Great. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I think that seems to be the end of the questions. Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions that they want to post that they may think of during this conference, you're welcome to post them in the conference questions. Right now, I know that we still have 2 other directors that are on the call and can probably speak for themselves at this point. It would be either Michael or Robin, and I would lead the floor to whichever one wants to go first. Okay, Michael, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for letting me.
All right. You are loud and clear, Michael. You can go ahead and lead it.
All right. Well, lately I've just been doing some background work with Robin. One of the last projects that we put was a translation for the video that hopefully everyone saw. And through that episode, I think we may want to be looking for other help, from people who want to donate their skills or talents in whatever manner they have to contribute. I think we're just all on the same page as to we want PAC to succeed, and that's one of the ways how I got involved, is that I see how PAC could succeed, and when I got involved, I was helping out Robin, and just led to me becoming a board member here, and just that's all. So just lately, we've just been working on the white papers, behind the scenes stuff. And I think just some of my projects right now, I'll probably be working on as Robin's going to Vienna conference. I'll be probably working with him to see if he needs any card updates, any videos for his speech that he's going to, not his speech, but his presentation. And so it's trying to see ahead of time what, some things, how we can make sure that PAC is well represented over there. And one of the things that hopefully, that we do get in the future, if not for this conference, but we need another PAC mascot, and it'll be because the other one is, since we got a new logo change. And usually with the PAC mascot, that thing sells. People do like that idea because it's the mascot represents itself as friendly, friendly for the family, and it just catches a lot of eyes. And, we did get a positive response with that mascot. So I don't think the mascot could go this time because we got to make it. And it does cost some funds to get the materials and make it happen. And so that's all I just want to give for this update. And just DM me for anything you may want to know, how I could help you set up the wallet or anything like that. And if I know people in the community will be listening to this later on, so in the future, or anyone, pass it along. We're here to help.
I think I'm good to go. I also think it's a good idea what Michael was saying, to make a new mascot so I can start promoting again, wearing the mascot costume and make videos in it. But essentially, I've already covered a lot of the charitable work in past community meetings, so I won't be going over that again. One of the most prominent things we're busy with is that we're in the process of setting up a 501c3, so companies and individuals can write off their taxes after donating to our charitable causes in crypto or in fiat currency. And we could even set up a help desk to help people or companies pay their taxes, so like a taxpayer help desk. And in doing so, we're first going to set up the process for it, obviously, and we're looking to use Jay's Ford dealership to set up and establish the process. And once we have the process established, we can proceed to do it for other retailers in general. They don't even have to be connected to PAC, because they can just write off their taxes they were going to pay anyway, but now it's going to our charitable project. And then once we're past a certain amount of donation, we could even promote their logos like we have been doing, giving a big thank you, for example, to Crypto PD in a past video by refugees, that we can also do for other companies, and we can also promote them in other ways. So essentially, that's kind of the process I'm looking to establish in the foreseeable future, because we already have the infrastructure ready. We've already done these projects and made videos, and everything works by now, and we're only solidifying it. Like, we have a team in Kakuda, we have a team in Caracas we can use, and even Juan is busy with a big project I explained last time in Africa, where we're going to clean up a polluted piece of land and plant fruit-bearing trees and start establishing a waste infrastructure and recycle the recyclable waste, which is also fully in motion, if I may add. And basically, we're going to look for partners who would be willing to fund the charitable projects we have going on with the different teams on the ground, and they can also donate to, for example, One Tree Planted through us, or to the Bryn Children Home. So also charitable causes that we support. And then we're going to look to see if we can get them involved, promote them while they fund it. And then we have an additional influx of revenue aside from what we have already established. And that's also what I'm looking to do at the Habsburg convention, because there's going to be, for example, Mr. Habsburg wants to introduce me to the Prince of Monaco at that conference. He's already confirmed coming, because the Prince of Monaco also does a lot of charity. So if I play my cards right, he could actually end up funding our projects, along with a couple of other very high caliber individuals that I might meet there. So that's kind of the plan for the foreseeable future. And if you have any questions, I would love to hear them.
If anybody has any questions for Robin before the end of the conference, you're welcome to post them in the conference questions. Right now, I just posted in the conference questions that these 5 people that have sat here for the whole conference just want a free spin on the Wheel of PAC. So after this, I'll set it up, and then I'll record it, and then I will pay these people out with a tip bot in the official Discord. So congratulations to you 5. You'll all get a free chance to win some PAC.
That's awesome, man.
Yep. So speaking of that, this would be my time to chime in, I guess. I didn't write anything for this, but I did get a Wheel of PAC. I got a couple of free spinner wheels, so we're going to have some fun with some giveaways, especially when the chain is up and running to 100%, which is supposed to be very soon, by the way. I don't think Drew gave an exact date, but he did give a block. It was 330K, so that should be coming relatively soon. If you just go to the Explorer, you can see how far away that kind of is. So with that being said, we have social media has been a little bit slow, I do admit. I do kind of want to put all my eggs in the same basket when this update pushes out so we can kind of go full force. We're going to have these giveaways, and we're going to have Robin doing his, charity marketing. We have Brad, and he's got quite a budget, so he should be able to help out with the marketing too. And if I need anything, I can kind of go to Brad and probably ask him for it, and he'd probably give it to me. He's been pretty good about that. So really, we just got that product to roll out. Once that product's rolled out, we're going to start, pushing, and we're going to get everything we can going. I just set up a BitChute account yesterday, so that's for PAC Global. So I'm thinking outside of the box and moving on to these outside platforms where, YouTube is censoring all of their content creators. So some of the more popular content creators from YouTube will actually be going to BitChute. So I could be targeting more than just the YouTube atmosphere, I should say. And that's kind of Brad's specialty. I do have the ability to post onto YouTube now, so perhaps this would be posted onto YouTube afterwards. So this recording is kind of getting a little bit long. So with that said, I'm still on the board of directors, still helping them make decisions and, helping them with the white paper too. So they put a lot of work into that in quite a short amount of time. It's quite a lot of verbiage to read. So you're welcome to read that. It's on the pacglobal.io website now. So everything's kind of falling into place. And, as it falls into place, we're going to start rocking it out. And hopefully we can take a look at the market relatively soon, I hope, and say, hey, look, all the hard work we did is starting to pay off. So that hard work's still here, and it's going to be banged out even harder. So just hold on to your seats there, keep your seatbelts on, and that's all I got for right now too. So I think I don't see any other directors on the call right now, but if Drew or if Michael or Robin, if you have anything else you'd like to add, you're welcome.
I personally do not. I think we've covered it pretty well.
Cool. All right. Well,
yeah, I would recommend just everybody please find a way to contribute as a moderator, fill out the application or any other means with your ideas, DMing us, because it's a new era for us. We're no longer going to be put up with this FUD and all this garbage that's been going on in the last regime. So that's just what's been happening. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, if anybody has any content or if they're good at creating content and are willing to be paid out in PAC, we do have a budget for that still. The social media Discord is still open. And if anybody wants an invite, they can reach out in the Discord or on YouTube or any social media platform, try to reach out and get into the social media Discord, because the more content that we get, the more we can push out. So thank you for joining the conference. This is September 14th, 2019, and we are still rolling, and we have a lot coming soon. So keep a lookout and try to keep an eye on everything. So don't miss any important news updates.